Next, we have Allia Mohamed. She is the co-founder and CEO of OpenIgloo. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Hey, welcome to the show. Look, OpenIgloo is to me it's a really cool app. It lets you rate landlords in New York City. And we all know landlords can be wonderful or a complete nightmare, right? What would you say to our viewers who tune in from all over the country on the best practice on selecting a good landlord?
Absolutely. I mean, right now there's this asymmetry of information between landlords and tenants, right? So landlords ask you for every single piece of information on your background with little information in return or guarantee of a positive rental experience. So we're really encouraging tenants, not just in New York City, but across the country, to do due diligence about your rental properties, whether it's a quick Google search or looking into city data sources about open violation data, bed bug complaints. But really, OpenIgloo is trying to combine the crowdsourced tenant feedback piece with the real-time access to city data.
So let's say I'm renting an apartment, and right now, August, September, that's really when the turnaround occurs, right? What do we need to know? What are a few things that we need to consider when we're renting an apartment?
Well, right now, there's this really interesting situation in big cities in the United States where people have been leaving due to coronavirus. So you have this vacancy happening in cities like New York. So you have time to do your due diligence, to take a breath, to try and negotiate good rental deals, because landlords right now are eager to fill empty apartments, and tenants are really in this position to take their time, do their research, make sure the reputations of the buildings and landlords are in good shape. So one of the things you can look into is, how big a landlord's building portfolio is. Do they manage 2 buildings or do they manage 60 buildings? That's really going to give you insight into how your property manager is going to manage your rental experience.
Yeah,
Wow.
got it. That makes so much sense.
So tell us a little bit about you. How did you get into this line of work, and what has been your journey to get to where you are today?
Yeah, absolutely. So, my background is in entrepreneurship and venture capital, and sort of living in New York for the past 8 years. As you can imagine, I've gone through this grueling, rental experience. And, when I was looking for my second, third apartment, I started to be that, weird tenant that would hang out and loiter outside buildings, waiting for people to go in and say, hey, do you like living here? Tell me everything, I need to know, give me the scoop. And I just thought, there needs to be an easier way to collect this data, to put it all into one place and really give prospective tenants the answer they're looking for.
Yeah, see, when you build an app that's based on rating, it's really difficult, in my opinion, to get the first rating because, your first tenant would be like, well, why should I do that? And your first landlord would be like, oh, well, nah. So how did you get your first rating when building this app?
Yeah, it's a great question. So one of the things that we designed into the app is we are encouraging tenants to leave reviews to get reviews. So if you go into the application right now and you search for your address, we are encouraging tenants to create an account, submit reviews anonymously for past buildings that they've lived in, and in exchange, they get access to that data that we've collected on the building. So it's really this community that we're building where strangers are helping strangers.
Yeah, so the first rating that you got, was it a friend, or was it you went out to the street in New York City and said, do you want to try my app? Did you, how did you start?
Julia, David, all of the above. It was me leaving my tenant reviews. I was harassing my friends. I was talking to people on the street, walking my dog. Literally anybody and everybody that's willing to listen about this, I've asked them and encouraged them to leave a review. So
Being annoying is part of being an entrepreneur, by the way. So hats off to you, and hats off to creating a great app. I'm going to download it, and I'm going to give you a review.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you for being here. It's great to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.